Hello guys, I hope you can hear me. I hope the wind's not too crazy. I say this every time I vlog outside in the UK. It is currently around lunchtime. I've been sat at my desk all morning and I get really restless around midday, so I decided to come for a lovely countryside walk. I cannot explain how grateful I am every day that I can just walk outside my door, but I'm still not over it. Yeah, I'm gonna take a big walk around this entire area. So last week the weather was beautiful. We got around 25 degrees I think, but everyone's saying that that was the last bit of summer because it's much more windy and chilled this week, and we've had lots of flooding in the UK, which is kind of crazy. You can start to see the colours of the trees are changing, the leaves are falling, and as you guys know, experiencing seasons for me is just super weird because I've been in a tropical climate for 10 years where seasons just do not exist, and I'm just used to it being the same climate, the same temperature all year round. So there's something really exciting about feeling the seasons changing. I do think that time goes a lot slower when there's seasons. I feel like when you have the same climate all year round, everything feels very similar, kind of stagnant. It's really hard to differentiate time, but when you have seasons, I just feel like time goes slower. That is really funny timing. This lady just behind me who walked past just stopped me to let me know that halfway around this field it's all blocked because it's flooded. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'll probably walk to the flooded bit and then I'll walk back round the same way she just did. But yeah, lots of flooding. It's kind of crazy. I feel like this is something that's happening everywhere at the moment, and if you've followed me since Singapore, you know I used to complain about it in Singapore and then I complained about it in Bali, but that is developments. And these fields have been empty for as long as I can remember. So it's actually really unusual to see all these fields being turned into flats. And I actually think it's not long before, because they've bought this land as well, this will slowly be developed too. Yeah, I mean, that's something about the UK, is that we have so much countryside and empty fields. So I know it starts somewhere, but it's just really unusual to kind of see that and hear that in the background. It was so funny, someone made a comment on my video saying, oh my god, you walk so quickly. And it's so funny because in some of my YouTube videos I'm literally bolting, because that's just how I walk. I walk at a really fast pace. And if you guys remember me saying in Singapore, I found it really difficult because I find that Singaporeans are really slow walkers, and because I like to just speed off, when I go into London I'm like, oh my god, I found my people, because everyone in London is just crazy. They are always in a rush. We walk 100 miles an hour. I couldn't even tell you why. I don't know why, but I just cannot walk slowly. I love a good fast-paced walk, but I think it looks funny in my videos, so I'm consciously trying to walk a little bit slower. So I was really missing Singapore this weekend because obviously it was Formula 1 in Singapore. Yeah, so I actually just obviously watched it on television. Let's go back there next year. I know my friend is going back there. She also used to live out there, and she's going to visit, I think, like next February or March. It's very tempting, I'm not gonna lie. What do you guys think? Should I go back for a little while? Okay, this is the flooded bit. What do you guys think? Should I risk it? I feel like I could walk around the edge. See, this bit is all waterlogged and flooded, and that was my way out. So I am gonna have to walk all the way back around again, which is fine. I like the exercise. Taking this poorly pooch out this morning. We are looking after our friend's doggy, but he's come straight out of surgery and we're looking after him while our friends are on holiday and he kind of recovers. Ice. So yeah, bless him, he's had this cone on the whole time he's been with us, but he's doing better, he's feeling better. Perfect. Velcro rollers for the last few months, and there's just no going back. I think it is the quickest way to get nice voluminous hair. I have a lot of layers in my hair, and I recently got it cut, so it's like even more layered. And if you want that like Sabrina Carpenter style voluminous layered hair, then I highly recommend Velcro rollers, and you can save yourself a fortune because you don't have to buy the Dyson Airwrap. So I'm just gonna let them out now. I usually roll them and then I'll just like blast the hairdryer over them and just leave them in for a couple of hours, and that usually does the trick. It's really chilly today. I've just been out in town because I had to go to Boots and get a few makeup bits, but my god, the temperature is changing, and I'm just slowly having to psych myself up. So someone asked me the other day about loneliness and do I feel lonely? Obviously I definitely feel loneliness. I've just come out of another relationship that's been really hard to deal with as well, because breakups are already hard enough, but it's also been really difficult for us to navigate that on the other side of the world from each other. It's kind of like a real clear cut, you know, we're still really close friendship wise, so it's difficult just to not have that person around, like even just to like go catch up and get coffee or whatever. Yeah, being newly single is always incredibly lonely. I've learned this over the last few years. It will always feel lonely, but if there's any skill I've learned, it's to be comfortable in my own company, and that is something I never used to be okay with. So, you know, I was in a long-term relationship for 10 years, so already you have someone with you all the time, and so you don't get much time to yourself. But over the last few years I've really understood the importance of being okay with yourself, going and doing things by your own, like solo dates, going for walks alone, like enjoying your own company. And I feel like that's a skill that I've really got good at over the last few years, and in lots of circumstances I'd rather do things by myself. You can certainly have that feeling of being lonely but like never alone at the same time. I also have to say, guys, my eyes are flaring up again, so that's why my eyes look so red and crazy. What was I going to say? Also notice a massive correlation between my hormones and the feeling of loneliness. When I've got my period, I obviously get super emotional and upset, and I think the thought of loneliness pops into my head even more, and I kind of dwell on that for those few days. But once that's passed, I feel really strong again. And I don't know if any of you girls can relate, but sometimes I'm like, which part of my cycle is actually me? Because us women feel so many different emotions and feelings throughout the whole month. I'm like, which one do I actually feel? But then when I pay attention to which part I feel the most, I think I feel stronger most of the time, as opposed to like that lonely kind of weak feeling. So I imagine that that's the real me, that I feel quite content, and yeah, of course in the back of my mind there's some sadness there, but I feel strong. And then I think when you've got your period, everything is just heightened, and that can be really exhausting to deal with every single month. But I think for the most part, I'm okay. So yeah, I swear everything ends up being a hormone chat. I'm sorry to any guys that are watching, but you have to understand that hormones literally rule our lives. They're the bane of our lives, but that's literally how we work, so it's kind of no avoiding it. So I've been trying to get a lot more protein into my diet since I've been home. The great thing about the UK is they have loads of products in the supermarket that are high protein. So I found these Warburton's thin bagels. They're 8 grams of protein per bagel, which is pretty good. And then I just put Philadelphia cream cheese and some ham on top. And then I got myself a coffee as well. So that's something that I do love about the UK. In the supermarkets, we have lots of high protein and also lots of gluten-free options as well, which is great. Something else I also really love is mackerel. And I know mackerel isn't for everybody, but this is really accessible at the supermarkets. So this is a really nice like lunch alternative, high protein. You can kind of just have it on its own with, I have like pickles with it and maybe some cheese. Just a nice option if you don't want to keep having bread. My parents do have a tree for a table, so I know it looks super weird. It pretty much is a tree, an unusual choice, but it looks kind of cool on camera. I am going to do a little bit of home decor retouching. I did mention a while ago, but when I moved back in with my parents, I have changed this spare room into my office. It was kind of just being used as like a junk room. So we've cleaned it up quite a bit, got rid of a load of stuff, and I'm really enjoying working here. I did a little order on Dunelm. As I've said before, Dunelm has like fast become my new favourite place to buy homeware stuff. I got this really lovely green throw because we have a chair in here, but it's not really like the aesthetic that I want. So I thought I could throw this over the chair and kind of make it bit more autumnal. And then I got a window voile, or kind of like a curtain, woven olive linen curtain. My friend actually had these in her bedroom, but she had like the red trim, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so beautiful, it just looks so cozy. But I got the olive green one, and it's just the smallest one because we have a very small window here. It's got blinds on it, but I think with a really lovely voile it just kind of give it that extra homely touch. I've been using these for years. Top tip if you're a renter and you can't bang nails into the wall, these Command 3M strips are just amazing. They hold up everything. I wanted to hang this up finally. It's my 100,000 subscriber plaque because it's been sat here for years. So it would be nice to hang it in my office. It kind of feels like that's the place it should be displayed. So that'll be nice. I got this really cute photo frame. How cute is that? I thought that would look really nice on my desk. The funny thing is with this is something you would put, you know, a photo of you and your partner in. I'll have to think about that one. Okay, so this is the chair. It's just this Union Jack chair, but I just want to put this on top of it and see what it looks like. This would probably also look really nice on my bed. I've just bought this really lovely green gingham bedding, so I think this would probably look really nice on the end of my bed as well, but let's give it a try on the chair. I don't know if that looks good or if it looks like I literally just threw a blanket over a chair. I'm not sure it had the effect that I quite wanted. Well, I definitely measured these curtains before I got them, and for some reason they're just too short. That is so frustrating. They look cute otherwise, they definitely need an iron, but that length thing, it looks a bit silly, doesn't it? It's so annoying when just something like that is wrong, because otherwise I think they look really quite sweet. But yeah, that's just a little bit too short for my liking. I feel like it's just getting colder and colder at the moment. I really need to buy myself a dressing gown. I also need to get some slippers. I was looking at the UGG slippers, but they're like £100. I'm not sure that they're that worth the investment, but I did see them in the shop the other day and they were so soft and they felt so comfy. Maybe that would be like a nice Christmas present. By the way, look how beautiful my sunflowers look. They've made me so happy. They were only £2 on the market. Very autumnal. Yeah, we had to give the dog back yesterday because their owners came back from holiday. Or his owners came back from holiday. And it's been really sad. It was a weird scenario because we were looking after him when he was quite sick. He literally just came out of an operation, so it was more like nursing him back to health as opposed to like really enjoying playing with him and stuff, because he was quite poorly, so he just needed lots of love and attention and lots of cuddles, which obviously I loved. But yeah, it suddenly feels like really quiet in the house, and it's so weird what a difference it can make when there's a different energy in the house, especially if it's an animal. You know, I've wanted a dog for so long now. That was the great thing about Bali, is that there were obviously so many dogs. And we had so many dogs that would just walk into our house, which I loved. Someone did reach out to me on Instagram and said that I could consider fostering. So I did look into it. And it's basically when the animal shelters are looking for like the dog's new home, but people kind of foster them for a little while in the meantime while they find them their permanent home. And I was like, actually that is a really nice idea, because I feel like it would give you purpose and be quite fulfilling. But at the same time, you still have to say goodbye to the dog again, and I think that's the bit that I would find difficult, is if I keep like having connections with these dogs and then having to say goodbye, then that's a bit, I don't know, that's a bit sad. So I kind of want like a dog for life, but obviously that's a really big commitment and I'm not sure if I could commit to that right now. I would get a cat, but I'm allergic to cats, so that one's kind of out of the question. I know everyone's going to be like, have a baby. Not possible right now, guys, not possible. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on fostering dogs. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap the video up here, so thank you so much for watching. I know it's just been kind of like a chilled, slow, cozy video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to be in London a lot next week, so stay tuned for that. It'll be like a really cozy autumnal London vlog. Stay tuned for that. I will see you guys next week.